Yes, we're doing this again because technical issues abound when you try and record stuff. But hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're looking after yourselves. We're back with another episode of Senseis of Anime, where we come to educate you on anime. We also bring amazing people who are either cosplayers, maybe they run their own anime company, to just discuss our favorite topics, our favorite characters, and of course, give some, really interesting hot takes on which animes are the best of all time. I'm wearing a One Piece shirt, but I'm a die-hard Naruto fan. And I will stand on that hill. But yes, we bring amazing people on. I've got an amazing guest speaker with me today. I'm going to hand over to her because I don't want to read out what she does, because she does amazing things and you should hear from her. So I'm going to hand over to Aliyah. Aliyah, how are you doing? Could we know a bit more about you?
Yeah, hi, Jeffrey. Thank you so much for that lovely intro. So I'm Aliyah Art. I'm an artist. I say I'm a multidisciplinary artist because I can do many different mediums of art. But typically it's digital or traditional. I would say illustration, but it's just art pieces now because they are like full of paintings and colour, and I love to draw as well. What else can I do? I can do graphic design and anything I could get my hands on to be creative. I'm really good. Okay. And that's taken a lot of experience. Let me just say, I'm not just like, even though I can't lie, I was on the gifted and talented register at school. But anywho, yeah, I studied animation, but I don't do it anymore because it's a pain. But I do love anime. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. And yes, you spoke about that you're an artist. We're going to get into the questions, but I think one question to start off with is we can show a picture of it in the episode, but could you tell us this is a tough one. What's the favorite, of all the stuff you've drawn? What's the most favorite? Because I've got one that I can say for you, but I want to see your answer first.
My favorite drawing of mine.
Yeah. I've put it on the spot.
I don't know.
Do you want to do top three?
No, I don't like any of them. I don't know what it is, but I do love all the drawings I do. I don't have a top one because it changes all the time. I could tell you what mine is now, but I would have to say every time I finish a drawing, I literally go, I hate it, never want to look at this again. Then I have been exhibiting pieces and selling them, and I'm like, oh, this drawing, I'm kind of warming up to it now. I like it. Or people like it. And I'm like, why do you like this drawing? It's really shit. Sorry, can I swear? Yeah. But there's a handful. Okay. I feel like, let me actually pick my top three. The three that have made the biggest impact on my life, which is the drowning one. I call it drowning, but people think it's the Pisces star sign. It's not. It was from when I had holiday blues after coming back from Japan, and I drew that picture with her bombastic side eye. It wasn't even a meme back then, but it was in 2018, and I love that picture. It does mean a lot to me. Then the Black Lives Still Matter one. That's I wouldn't even say second favorite. It's just up there because it's really funny. It was an unfinished drawing for a long time until 2020 when the George Floyd incident happened, and then Black Lives Matter actually came to UK, and we went to marches, and I felt so empowered and inspired, and really it was a very poignant moment in our history. So I managed to finish the drawing off, and it was after seeing John Boyega's speech where he said, Black lives still matter, and I was like, that's what the piece is going to be called. Wow. And then the third one, I don't know, maybe the Vegeta Badman one, because I drew that on a whim, and it was from an old drawing that I drew over maybe 14 years ago. Okay, no, that's all right. Yes. Oh, I know, just show my age. But it was from over 14 years ago. And it was just a sketch in a sketchbook. I just really wanted to draw Vegeta in his Badman shirt. And yeah, it came to that's the thing, pieces don't always complete straight away. So it took 14 years to eventually take it to digital, complete the drawing. I had the vision and it was there. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. I'd say my favourite is because I'm a Spider-Man fan. So the Miles, and I'll take a picture. I've got it at home. The Miles Morales with the sunflower one is definitely my favourite because
that's one of my favourite pieces. I really enjoyed drawing it. I just love those films. They're so good. They're so good. I'm going to draw a Spider-Punk picture next. Okay. He's not going to have flowers. He's just going to be very like anarchy, like kind of like punk, you know, with the whole style and like cut out newspapers and stuff. Just really cool. Yeah.
I definitely agree. One thing I will add, it's not relevant to like this episode at all, but I think it's nice you mentioned the films because obviously you like, I've never studied animation. I think it's interesting, but I know I couldn't do it. But I think it's really interesting that you mentioned that because Beyond the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, the Lego scene in there was animated by a 14-year-old who he wasn't actually added onto the project when it started. Yeah. When the first trailer was released, he basically reanimated the whole trailer using like Lego. And wow. And the directors saw it and they were just like, wow, this is really cool. Like, we've got to work with him. So they said, the story goes that they found, like, they were just saw it, which is like, this is amazing. And they had this funny idea. They were just like, okay, what if we have like a Lego version of Spider-Man? Because they were just like, oh, we're going to have live action. Let's show like different versions of Spider-Man. The story goes, they approached Sony and they were just like, hey, so we found this person. The only issue is he's 14. So legally, is there something we can do? Because like we don't want to pay him, and then it seems like we're doing child labor because obviously that's bad. But they were just like, oh, it'll be such like a missed opportunity if we don't get him involved. I don't know, like there's videos on YouTube, but yeah, they invited him along, and then he basically animates or works on the animation for that section and the whole like Lego Peter Parker stuff. It was all animated by him. And I'd be surprised if he doesn't have a job at Sony now. But yeah, it just shows you where things can go.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point. Like with social media and how easily accessible it is to, you know, upload and video record and do all these things. Like I never used to have access that easily to all these equipments. Like you literally have a camera on your phone and then a portal to the dimension of social media. Like literally, if you just tag the right people, put the right hashtags, the right people will see your work.
Yeah. So yeah, as I mentioned, everyone, technical issues. But we're back. We're back to recording. And yes, I have my nice fancy piece of paper with the first question. So yes, Aliyah, you mentioned in your bio that you put on our website that you're heavily influenced by cartoons, video games, and of course, anime. Could you share specific titles or characters that have profoundly influenced your work and how they have done that, please?
Yeah. That's a very big question. I feel like, you know, when you've been asked a big essay question in school, this is what it feels like. Because I could go into complete detail about so many things, but like I have one for each because it's just I know what touches me, what inspires me, and all this stuff. So for cartoon, I love the show Arthur. You know, and I say, hey, But I used to love Arthur because I was the oldest child. He's the oldest child, but I'm actually nothing like him. I'm like DW. DW is actually my favourite character. Okay. She's been a big inspiration, not just for me to draw, but as like a person. I just aspire to be as like forthcoming and bold and just don't give two shits about what anyone else says or thinks and just, you know, being yourself. Yeah. I love that. She's so moody and I'm like, I am quite moody sometimes. I have to admit, I'm not perfect. But no, she's a great character. It's just so fleshed out so well. And then video game, it's going to be Sora from Kingdom Hearts because I adore that game. That game changed my entire life. I think it's actually the reason why I decided to study animation, why I don't stop drawing. And even to this day, like, I still love to go back and play all the Kingdom Hearts games and stuff. It just really warms my heart. And I'm looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 4, which is coming. Just the lore is really confusing. It's probably the most confusing storyline since Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my dear.
Yeah.
Oh my dear. No, don't get me started.
Yeah, because you told me you're a gamer. Yeah. You know about MGS.
Because I never played the originals. Me and my brother, the first one we got into was 5. And I told my brother, I was like, like, oh, cool. So we've got 5. Let me learn the lore. I was just like, I watched a video on YouTube. I was just like, I don't get. I was like,
it's a great game.
It's a great game.
Story.
Great story.
It's
I'm just
confusing.
like, I was just like, I don't get it. But I like the games. They're fun.
They're great. They're fun games. They are fun. And then anime. Anime is so hard because I think you said earlier you're a diehard Naruto fan. You know what? Before I got into One Piece, yes, I loved Naruto. I had a terrible, when I say terrible phase, it took over my whole life. I had nothing else but Naruto going on in my brain. But this was when it wasn't finished. So it's really fun to hop on board to any anime where there's no ending. But Naruto is finished now, but I love One Piece. I can't lie. And you're wearing an amazing t-shirt. Is the best character. When I say the best, Luffy is probably my favorite character. Okay. I've drawn him a few times, and I just adore him. I mean, as you can see, I love a pro tag. So Luffy is my favorite.
He's your favorite character. Okay. And I will say, I've got the sound effects ready this time. So a round of applause is needed because you mentioned before that you've actually watched. You didn't start watching One Piece when it came out,
no.
And you're up to date with the manga as well,
yes.
Which I must commend because that is something very like me. Like I said, I'm in my like One Piece phase. I think, well, on a separate note, there's just like so much to watch that sometimes it's just like, But with One Piece, I'm still at the beginning. I know they're reanimating the beginning arc of One Piece. I don't know when it's coming out, but it'll be interesting to see how that does. But we can't talk about One Piece and obviously talk about the live action. Now, the live action, we discussed it at the summer shutdown party. That you were saying that you're excited. You weren't sure where it would go, but you're hopeful. And as I've mentioned previously, animes have that the live action curse, so to speak. Especially Netflix ones. No shade to Netflix. If you want to sponsor us, like hit me up. But there's a track record. You have the Death Note one. I know it wasn't done by Netflix, but there was Ghost of a Shell that again didn't do well. Didn't really. Of course, there's a lot. There's a lot. And with other animes or like within that same sphere, so obviously we've got The Last Airbender coming out this year in February. Actually, maybe we'll do an episode on that. It's coming out soon.
Why couldn't they just make an animation of it?
Honestly, they are doing an adult. They're doing adult version of the original like gang, and they're going to show that it's like I think it's supposed to be set a couple of years after the original comic. It's going to be it's basically all the flashbacks in Legend of Korra will not be relevant to it in the sense of it's not going to like show the stuff that's already been shown.
It's going to be learn about Zuko's mum, basically.
I think so. They did do because
I read the comic for that, so I do know what happened. But I would be very interested to see how they execute it because I still obviously I just love 2D. There's a purpose for animation other than like certain things you can't replicate in live action because you get to Uncanny Valley and it looks weird or you can't. It doesn't look right, basically. That's why live action animation adaptations don't work.
Exactly.
I mean, the Dragon Ball Evolution, we're not going to talk about that. Worst thing ever. Like, I don't think Goku ever would care about school or go to school.
Well, I get that. And even, it's interesting you mentioned, that some things just can't translate because, I read an article, apparently Netflix are looking to develop a My Hero Academia live action show. And I've said it before, My Hero Academia as like a idea is really cool. You've got 80% of the world with superpowers rather than just like a select few. Even we're going to do quickfire questions later on, but it's not. And I feel like I'm talking about My Hero. I've got to ask, would you want to live in the My Hero world? So I guess the question would be, you get to live in the My Hero world, but you don't know what you're like. You can't pick.
I can't pick my quirk.
Yeah, you can't pick your quirk.
I would 100% live in that world. All their quirks are weird. They make it work, and they make it like some kind of superhero thing. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm actually reading it to catch up now. When I say reading it, I actually stopped watching it when I got to season 5.
Okay.
And I couldn't get into it. This was years now when it came out. And now I've been determined to read it. So I'm actually just reading the manga past season 5, season 6, season 7's coming out. And it is I loved that anime when it first came out. So it's rekindling my love for it by reading it. So the manga is really good as well. It's beautifully drawn. Actually really beautifully drawn.
I definitely agree. But yeah, I think that like a lot of the quirks in it though are very, I'm just like, I personally don't know how you're going to animate it, because
they're all weird.
They literally are. And I'm just like, I don't know, because I think people are saying with like stuff with One Piece, for the majority of it, it's especially towards the start, it's not like so outlandish or like big. Like you can work with it. Similar, like people would say about Naruto, because like when it's just, you're dealing with just ninjas and stuff, like apart from some of the jutsus being like very like animated, you're okay for the most part. When Naruto started to go down like the whole like, well, we've got aliens and all of that route and stuff like to be honest, if someone told me they're gonna like live action Boruto, I will say Boruto. Obviously, like I know mentioning Boruto brings up stuff, especially for Naruto fans as myself.
I pretend don't dig.
But you know what is the time skip? So where Boruto is now, like I've been reading the manga, and I personally love it.
Okay.
Like it is great. I won't go into I won't spoil it for anyone, but it is. There's a few things I'm just like I don't get it, because it's just like I was just like, okay. It's you just certain things you just gotta be like, cool, it's anime, I have to accept this.
Yes.
And if you've never watched anime, that is something you just come to terms with.
You just have to go along with things sometimes. So when you don't understand it, you just watch a few episodes, then you're like, oh,
exactly.
Then yeah.
But there are big twists, and there's a lot of like potential for where it can go. So yeah, Boruto, I would say, even if you don't want to watch the original, or read the original manga, I would say just look at definitely look at the Baron Mode Naruto fight, because someone dies. I won't say who, but someone dies after that fight. It was emotional.
I'm shaking my head because I'm guessing who it is.
Yeah, it was
not happy.
You know what, I
heard that Sasuke becomes a tree.
Yeah.
I know they said no spoilers, but that's what I heard. I'm not even caught up on the manga or anything.
We can go into so basically you find out that so at the end of the when Boruto was still a child, basically there's this, and again have to accept it, there's this whole thing that Kawaki and Ada do, which is basically them being together, like just I guess near each other, their powers like somehow like mixed together, and there's this thing, I think it was like omnipotence is what essentially the jutsu was called. But it meant that Kawaki and Boruto swapped places. So in everyone, and like in the whole world's memories, they're now opposites. And it basically ended badly because for Kawaki, this is where it gets a bit tripping. Kawaki sent Naruto away to this like dimension where time does not pass. And Hinata. Everyone thinks that like Naruto is dead, and in when this is like everyone's chasing after Kawaki because he's just like, I'm gonna kill Boruto, I'm gonna kill Code, and I'm gonna get rid of all the Otsushi. I always get their names wrong, but I'm gonna kill all of the aliens, and he was just like, that's what I am. Boruto is just like, no, I'm still me. Like even though I'm like. Now, like he's basically like on the same level as them. He's just like, no, I'm still human. Like I'm still me. And Kawaki's not having it. He's like, you're talking rubbish. So he sends Naruto away because he says Naruto's not strong enough to do what he needs to do and kill his son. And he sends Naruto away as well. So the whole village thinks that Kawaki has killed Naruto and Hinata. It then gets, so now they swapped, not even like swapped bodies, they literally swapped in everyone's memories. So everyone thinks Kawaki is Naruto's actual son, and Boruto's this outsider that then basically took advantage and killed Naruto and is now on the run. So the original, I think Blue Vortex is what it's now called in the anime. So the original one ends with Boruto, so Boruto's trying to run. The only people that remember, by the way, are Sarada and someone else. I've forgotten.
What about the other teammate of Orochimaru's son?
No, he doesn't remember. He actually tries to kill. Imagine he tries to kill Boruto.
Oh God.
Yeah. So the only one
that's a whirlwind.
But
I don't know how I feel about it. It's trying to be Shippuden.
It's weird, but like it kind of works because people were saying there's a lot of potential for where it can go because it shows like where character-wise how Boruto influences his friends. Because you see in the adult skips, what happens is just before the skip happens, Sasuke comes and he's just like, I'm gonna kill Boruto. And Sarada's like pleading. She awakens her version of the Mangekyo Sharingan because basically hers, rather than coming out of hate, comes from love. So because basically the whole world hates Boruto and she's the only one that knows the truth, she's like gets really emotional. She's pleading with her dad to like, he's not a bad guy, like please go with him. What happens is Sasuke even says like there's certain things that don't make sense. So like in his memory, he gave Kawaki his headband. But obviously Boruto's got it. So he's just like, how could you have it if I gave it to him? So there's a lot of like confusion. But he's just like, look, my daughter trusts you, so I'm going to go with you.
Yeah.
So time skip happens. All you just find out is Boruto comes back to the village. Code's now attacking the village with like, he's using these things called claw grimes, which are basically just like, he added his claw marks to like the Jubi's like, smaller versions. And then basically you find out later on that Sasuke, during the time skip, he was training Boruto. Again, I didn't really like it because he was just like, this time skip was I think maybe 2 or 3 years. And within maybe like 2 years, Sasuke's just like to Boruto, like, yeah, there's nothing more I can do to train you. Like I've trained you everything that I know. You are like, you're the best. I mean, to be honest, he looks sick. Like he acts cold in like the teenage version of him now. But literally, like we said, like it's just very like it's got the potential to be good. Like the whole Sasuke being a tree thing, you find out he got basically anyone who gets bitten by a claw grime turns into like they basically start to become a tree, and the whole idea is they're gonna become a part of the chakra tree.
Yeah.
But then you find out that when Sasuke got bitten, basically the claw grime that bit him then becomes him. So it's very weird. So he has the same memories of Sasuke. I think. I don't remember for definite, but I think he has the same memories of Sasuke. He at least has the same abilities, and he has his own Rasengan as well. But you find out that all the people, there's like these 4 ones that they're the only ones that can speak. They've got mouths and they look very human. One of them is Sasuke. Like it was one of them bit Sasuke. One of them bit Mugi, who was Konohamaru's like the girl that was in Konohamaru's group when they were growing up. One of them's another character called Bug. So he got bitten and he's now a tree. And then there's this other one that no one knows who it is, but everyone believes that he's got. Like I don't know how Gaara ended, but a lot of people think he's Gaara because they all target that. So. Like I said, you can read it, but the short version is they all target specific people. So Sasuke's one says he's going after his like Sarada. Moiki says she's going to go after like her old team. I've forgotten who Bug said he's going after. And then the other one, he says he wants to go after Naruto. So the idea is they all go after people that they care a lot about. And people said, oh, well, obviously Naruto and Gaara have that strong relationship. I don't know if it's true. They're probably not going to reveal it until there's some big like fight. But yeah, on that like spiel.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. But I realized I didn't actually let you answer the question.
It's fine.
Naruto again. See, I told you, Naruto.
You love Naruto.
It's on the brain. One Piece, the live action. Did it live up to what? You see what I mean?
I forgot we were speaking about that.
Did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah. You know what? I had very, very, very low expectations of any live adaptation of an anime because they've all been bad.
Yes.
Anime is not made for live action. That's the purpose, like I said, why it's made for 2D. There's a reason why animation exists as a medium for people to put their stories out, you know. But it actually really did good. I was very impressed by how much I liked it. I was like, this is interesting. There were some inconsistencies with the original story, but I understand it's because it's literally to get new watchers into One Piece, into like the world of maybe even like introducing them to anime, what have you. But there were a few things that I weren't happy about. I thought the actors that they chose were great. I actually love all of them. Had the biggest crush on Sanji's actor. Yeah, Taz Skylar. He did a very good job. I don't care what people say. He was there for like the girls. The boys always get like, what is it, fan service, but the girls never get fan service. But JJK has also fulfilled that for us, so I'm happy. But no, he was definitely there for the girls, and I loved Luffy's actor a lot because I'm so glad that he was Latino and like he just embodied Luffy really well. I know a lot of people will probably be like, oh, how can you say that? But I know you're all diehard One Piece fans, don't get me wrong, after I watched the live action, I went back and watched the beginning of One Piece again. Okay. And then I was just like, oh, I love this show so much. The anime is much better. When I say better, it's just because like it's got slapstick humor. The jokes translate better in 2D. There's I'm always going to say like the comparison I make as an animator, someone who studied it too, is Lion King. When Lion King in 3D came out and it was like realistic and you seen a realistic lion cry because his dad died, and it's just weird. I didn't get sad. That part makes me cry like without fail in the 2D version of Lion King. But it was weird in like 3D. So it's just like, this is a waste of money and time. So some things just don't translate when you're trying to do it realistically. So like even though One Piece was great, I didn't really like seeing Luffy do gomu gomu. Like even though he said it perfectly, he did really good, the actor. He paid so much attention to detail to how Luffy talks, even the Japanese version. But it was weird seeing a real arm stretch like a rubber band, and it just looks stupid. So like they have announced they're going to make a season 2. I don't look forward to seeing a live, like a visual effects chopper, a realistic little cartoon reindeer who works better in 2D. It's not going to look nice. But and then Robin's like Hana fruit, the hands. It's just going to look weird. Like it's like they can do it. But yeah, certain things are just not meant to be realistic. That's the whole point, is to live up to the imagination. But otherwise, no, I actually enjoyed it. I like pirates. I liked Pirates of the Caribbean growing up. I liked stuff like that. But obviously, One Piece, I have to say, the last thing One Piece is about is piracy. It's not actually about it. It's really so good. Yeah. No, it's a big story. It's like the pacing is terrible. That's the only reason that there's so much episodes. But I actually just, after an arc called Dressrosa, I just read from there. And it was better to read.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely agree. And I think a key thing that made it like stand out as a live action is how involved the creator was.
Yes.
Because I know that, I've forgotten which one it was. I think it was Death Note. I don't know. There was one before that literally like it was just like the studio bought the idea.
It was probably Death Note. I think it was that, because Death Note has been done twice as a live action, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Netflix took it. Yeah, they just like, let's buy the IP, but let's just not put our own spin on it. And it's just like, why? Just be faithful to the source material. But no, they take literally the IP to draw people in. And then even like the average watcher as well, that's what it's for. And then it's just a cash grab at the end of the day. And then anime fans are disappointed again.
Oh, 100%. But it was so nice because I think before the show even released, like they were asking about like the progress and how things were going. And I think even someone at Netflix or the creator, Oda, said that like it's not coming out unless I like it. Like, and I think that's something that is very, like, obviously I know like not all creators can like say that, but to have that level of involvement. And I think one cool thing that I liked about it was there was a, like, I don't know the full story because, like I said, I'm not a big One Piece fan, but I know that I don't think publicly, like a lot of people would see him and know that this is Oda, like this is the guy who created One Piece. But what I find really funny is at the premiere, like Netflix did a big event for the premiere, and when they were like promoting it, they did like trailers showing off like the different people, like so Luffy, the actor who plays Luffy, he got to actually meet Oda in real life.
Yeah.
And obviously like they put like a fake, I think they put the One Piece sign on his face.
Oda has a little fish kind of drawing for that's his little mascot of himself. He doesn't like to show his face. But I saw the video. I was really emotional. It was so lovely. It was so emotional. And he actually saw that actor's casting video and he handpicked him. He was like, he's like Luffy, he makes me laugh. And that's what Luffy is. So it's really nice that Oda did have like, when I say nice, it was actually quite important that he had a big hand in like the progression. A lot of people were complaining, saying, "Oh, he's not drawing the chapters," blah blah blah. And it's just like, yeah, but they've announced a live action. Do you want it to be true to the story?
Exactly.
Like, do you want it to be as good as it could be? And like, it's actually from Oda's like mind himself. He's actually like okayed all of this. And it was, it was very good that he had a hand in it. Yeah, he even told them there's certain scenes that they shot and he was like, no, that's not how it goes. Cut, do it again. So yeah, it was really good. It could have been terrible if he didn't do that.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And even like at the premiere event, he went to see it. But obviously, like you said, not a lot of people know. Well, like it's very rare. Like I think a select few know what he actually looks like. So there's this really funny picture where he's actually in the audience and he's seeing everyone watching it. Everyone's like really excited. And then I think someone put in the comments just like, imagine you're watching this premiere, you're thinking this is the most amazing thing, and you have no idea that the creator of the thing you're watching and like this whole universe that you love is in the same room or is in the audience. Like people just like, you could have literally been standing next to him and you would have had no idea. You would have just walked off, and then afterwards you might have been thinking, wait, this person, it could have been him. So I was just like, that to me is just like really incredible.
So exciting. Yeah. Oh my God.
But let's go on to the next question. So again, a lot of these are based off your profile. So you mentioned, using everyday life experiences to inspire your creations. Could you give us an example of a specific moment or experience from your daily life that you believe has directly influenced one of your pieces? I told you, it's school questions.
It's a lot. But like, when I say everyday life experiences, I mean like, I like to tell a story of my work because that's partly why I like to study animation, because you tell a story.
Exactly.
And the best stories are told from life, from what you've actually experienced. So I used to think my life wasn't interesting. Then one day, like, I started to Twitch stream and do YouTube videos as I would draw as well.
Okay.
So like live stream whilst I draw, or even playing video games as well. And then I just would talk and people were like, oh, you're so interesting. And like, they were like, you should do this more often. I'm like, what's so interesting about my life? But obviously it's just the way maybe I portray it, or how, like, because that's the thing, everyone has their own way of how they digest things and how they take on life lessons and morals, what have you. So yeah, most of the time it's just like experiences with people, checkpoints in life, like about university, education, all the different people you come across, and all the trials and tribulations of life, like a lot of the time, like where we connect with anime characters where they've been through lots of hardships, even though it's like completely unrelatable to like, like Itachi's going through something really devastating and like he's been banished from the village and stuff, but it's quite symbolic to like if you just feel isolated from a friendship group, and that's why people can connect with the characters because their symbolism is there. Like Naruto made me cry a lot, so like there's a lot of symbolism. But like the best part was for me was when Naruto went to go, like he left the village and he went to go get Sasuke. And all of them go, this is just before Shippuden. That's one of my favourite bits. So that just made me cry so much. I was just so emotional. It was so beautiful. And it was really touching. And like, that's to me how you can translate experiences from real life into making it creative. So that no one actually understands what experience you went through, but the lesson is there.
The lesson is still there.
Yeah, the lesson is there. So like, what experiences of mine? I guess the best one I could touch on is the in 2020 when the George Floyd incident happened and the Black Lives Matter protests started happening in the UK. It was a very US American thing, but it came over here and worldwide. But going to that protest really, like, it was just very poignant and very emotional, powerful, and it was just so crazy. For like, it's always a bit weird when you're bare aware that you're black, like. It's when I say weird because it shouldn't be a thing like I have to be aware, like, oh yeah, the colour of my skin might be a reason like this is happening to me. But it was really like just empowering and like emotional. So I went home and there was a picture it was an unfinished picture at first, this Black Lives Matter one. And then I finished it off because I was just like, I know how to finish this picture now. It took years, it took about 3 years to finish. When I say 3 years, it was like drawing at first, paused, and I was like, I don't know how to take this picture or where it's going. So even like a picture, like they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. It tells a story. Yeah,
definitely agree. And I think, like, I guess going back to the first thing that you mentioned of like anime, you might not necessarily be able to relate directly to like what you're seeing on screen, but there's that life lesson. I've forgotten the name of the podcast, but I will include the name and the link will appear, like the name will appear like here. But it will be really, No, it's like all the time I do this. Like I always find it funny when I edit it because people don't know it, but I'm just like saying, like I'm putting my hand out here.
No,
like,
so it reminds you.
Yeah, it reminds me.
Yeah.
But I'm just sometimes I watch it and I'm just like, wow. Like, I'm
it's
just
like instructions for you later in the future. Yeah.
But, you know, it's funny because like the audience never see like the version where my hand is just like there's nothing here. So I just find it funny every time. I'm just like, and like the link is just here.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was this anime podcast and they were just like, so they all watch anime and they were saying that they really like One Piece because they said it's not like Naruto or like any other anime where we're saving the world. We got to like find, you know, this cute, like it was just like at the end of the day, One Piece is about a group of friends who go on adventures.
Yes.
And they were saying they think that's also why like not only the anime itself was really popular, but I think the live action broke because I think before it was Stranger Things was like the most watched show within on Netflix.
Yes.
Now it's One Piece. And they said it's just that idea of like a group of friends that all have like different, but like they come from different walks of life. They all have like emotional backstories, but they're just like, hey man, I just want to sail around, have good times, visit some people, meet some people, have a chill life.
Yeah.
And they were just like, how many anime can you say? Because I think that's why they were saying like about, because they literally asked that same question about like, would you go into different worlds? And they were just like, the thing about like going into like My Hero or like Naruto is like, they were just like, the average Joe in Naruto is having a tough life.
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy.
True.
Or they were just like, even like with My Hero, like, you don't want to be, they were just like, you don't want to be in like, personally, I feel like quirkless is it would suck. I feel like it would generally suck because you'd just be like, it's no different than being in the real world.
Yeah, basically.
But I also feel like it would be really hard to have like a quirk that's just like not good or like very like, because they were saying there's some quirks that no one ever, I think his name is RDC World, but he did like a sketch a sketch on like, quirks, and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm a hero, but my quirk is like very dependent on specific things. Or like someone was just like, oh yeah, I've got electricity, but I can only like charge people's devices. That's literally like what my as a hero, I'm just here to like save you if your phone needs charging. And I was just like, yeah, it must suck to be in My Hero, and you're just like, wow. Like I'm not saying like I agree with All For One and I would join up with him. But I'm also just like, if I had the worst quirk ever, like it would be hard to not, like if someone's just like, I can give you like one that's so much better, to not just be like, you know what, yeah, I really wanted to be a hero. I love heroes. And you're just like, no. Because I feel like that, to work in an office with a quirk, like I just feel like that is really taking the mick. Like if you can levitate stuff, like kind of like Ochaku, like she can levitate stuff, and like her family just like, oh yeah, you're just gonna join the construction business. And she was just like, no, I want to be a hero. No, that's fair. Because yes, her quirk is like very useful and for any industry would be good. But she's just like, no, like I like being here. I like heroes. I'd love to be a hero and I want to do it. So yeah, that's my only thing with like, I would love to, My Hero I love, like again, very debated. So yeah, so as I was saying, I really do like My Hero as an anime because I think like the world is good. I do agree that like I was speaking to someone before, they were just like, the characters are not always done the best. Obviously people... He's
got too many characters, that's why.
He really does.
That's actually why, yeah.
And it's just like trying to because I think like we said, like people, he tries to balance too many of them to like, bring them into, because obviously like with Naruto you've got the original three, which is basically just Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura, and you've got Kakashi as well, but the main story was with them. Like you had other like arcs where other characters were like a pivotal role, or they were the main. Shikamaru's arc was perfect. But literally like people were saying, like what you said, like with My Hero, it's never like, oh, like Deku or like Deku, because people say the big three is going to be Deku. You know what? When you watched it, and I don't remember the names, but Bakugo and I've forgotten the Fire Ice guy, Shoto,
Todoroki.
Yeah. So they said that those three are going to be.
Happy birthday! It's his birthday today.
It's his birthday today.
Yeah.
You know what? That's why we did that. See, look, this was the whole plan. Like we planned this in advance. No, it was like, see, look, we planned this all out, guys. Don't see, look, you don't think I think ahead about these things. Please. Anyway,
that could be your quirk. You just know the future.
You know what? Honestly, but the thing is, I feel like I would be to knowing the future. I'd just be because. Anything embarrassing someone would be doing, I'd be like, I don't want to like you to embarrass yourself, but you know, just.
But you have to learn the hard way.
You have to learn the hard way, like
yeah.
But it wouldn't be a bad quirk. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, dude. There's some useful quirks.
There's some useful quirks. But yeah, like you said with My Hero, that there's always, it's not even just those three are like the main characters and everyone else comes in, you know, everyone's just like popping up in each
Everyone
episode.
gets their time in the limelight.
And it's just...
Which is nice, but it's actually hard, I'm guessing, as one mangaka doing that. I would forget certain things. There would be plot holes, and I know there's lots of complaints. I'm not even caught up yet. I'm still reading the manga. I'm like on chapter 267, I'm sorry. But like, because I know it's like on 410 right now. But yeah, at the moment, I'm realizing all these characters have their time in the limelight. And I know, to be honest, My Hero fans are the most like Aggie kind of fan base. They're very demanding, and it's because as well as the fact that it's like anime manga, it's got a lot of Western influences. So like I have a friend, he doesn't watch anime, doesn't read manga. He loves My Hero. He watches and reads it. And now he loves Blue Lock as well. So he's into football. He likes superheroes. He likes Marvel. But this is crossing over those like territories for him. And he's like, yeah, I could get with this. But he's not an annoying fan. He's actually very understanding. But yeah, that's where it crosses like kind of like the territories of like, you know what, there's a lot of basic fans. I'm sorry, like
no, it's the truth.
You're basic if you are complaining like, oh, there's too much boobish, there's too much this, there's no story, there's no coherency. Like it is by one person.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It is done by one person. And even Akira Toriyama, he forgot to stop drawing. He stopped drawing their tails because he just forgot. So, like, they're human.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And I feel like you said, like, it's because people like say like, for example, like, oh, like Deku season 1 like was the worst, and I was just like, no, you gotta like think about it, because I'm like, this guy, first of all, like he's been bullied most of his life.
Yes.
Also,
By
Bakugo, and I was just like, also like this, you know.
But they have a lovely brotherhood.
They have a lovely brotherhood.
I actually like Bakugo. I hate him at the beginning.
Okay.
But I don't know what's happened. I've grown to love him so much. I love Deku a lot. He's basically Green Naruto. But I don't know what it is. But they have very good character development. I do adore that about them. Even like Bakugo obviously knows that he has one for all. And he kind of is like his friend. Yeah, they're like brothers to me.
Yeah. I do like you said, like I do like that they, like character-wise, even though they cycle through like all of them, they all do have their moment of like growth and development.
Yes.
And you see how like they grow. Because I even said like, I personally loved Deku season 1 because I was just like this, because my brother was the first one, like he watched My Hero and he was just like, we're gonna watch it. And I was like, okay, you know, like it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And we watched the first season. I was like, this is great. Then when I told people, they were just like, what, you like the first season? And I was like, no, I liked it because as a character, like you said, I think there's a lot of similarities between him and Naruto. And I love Naruto because I feel like there's a lot of Naruto that I can relate to.
Yeah.
And with Deku, it's just like, I told people, like, imagine that, like, I don't know, like, I couldn't even think about it in person, but I was like, imagine like the richest person in the world said, like, I'm going to give you like all my money. Like it was inherited. I inherited someone else's money. I'm going to give you all of this power, all this money. And you have to figure out like how you're going to level up to what he's doing. And I was just like, people don't seem to understand that, because I think he's like, in the start of the season, I'm pretty sure he's like,
He's like 14.
He's 14. I'm like, imagine me, like, imagine, I don't know, like Richard Branson going to a 14-year-old. Yes, my wealth is yours. You own all of my companies.
And he's long, like, he's studied quirks. He's long trained. It's this idol giving him a quirk. He's like, what? Like, but it's not even just that. I just love Deku as a character. He actually really, like, appreciates the fact he has a quirk. But he's not taking it for granted. Because of the fact like he never had a quirk and he never got one, he was going to be quirkless. And yeah, he was heartbroken. And then suddenly his life has turned around, and he is a big responsibility he's been given. One for all is
it's a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, even as I'm reading it, I'm learning more about it. It's kind of reminded me of. It's giving me Avatar vibes. Last Airbender, by the way.
I see it. Yeah.
It's giving me Avatar vibes because you're seeing the past predecessors of One for All. So I'm just like, it's a big responsibility. And he doesn't play, he's actually the right character to have given it to, because he's not going to play about with it. Yeah.
It's really interesting. And I think it's like, you know, funnily enough, I realized I didn't actually say this when we were talking about quirks. I also realized, like, time-wise, I haven't asked all the questions, and there's also more stuff I want to do.
So much to talk about.
But like, it's me. So my brother, like, I guess we were talking about AI before, and it's interesting that we like mentioned like quirks and stuff, because I'm not like, people must be thinking he's saying there's an AI quirk thing. No, there's not, unfortunately. But one thing that my brother showed me with ChatGPT is you can use it to like which people might argue is good and bad, but you can use it to like create your own like characters, and you can use it to like base. So for me, I completely forgot about this. So my brother was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make I don't know what his character was called. I don't know what his character's quirk was, but he was just like, cool, I have this idea of like a character in My Hero. Put in ChatGPT, it was just like, let's see how it works. And obviously, like, I'm not saying like it is something that could be published or like it'd be good as what the manga is. But it was interesting because it was nice to like put myself in. Like, I even did it myself. I had like my guy was a bit of a cheat character. I won't lie, because he had the ability. He was kind of like, I think his name's Momo, the guy that if he touches people, he can copy their quirks.
Oh.
But mine was
kind of like Kirby.
Yeah. But, I told my brother, I was just like, I'm gonna cheat a little bit, because I was just like, the ability, like having to touch people is a lot of effort. And literally, as you see in the manga, like people, once they know that, they're just like, cool. They evade him. Yeah. And they're just like, I'll take a step back. What I said, which was based off like when Class A and Class B fight, was I was just like, wouldn't it be cool if his quirk worked? That it was rather like a distance-based thing. Yeah. So I had this whole idea that my character was going to have this thing that he could like, so it was by distance, so he could copy a few quirks, like if they were near him. And I was just like I'm also a big superhero fan. So like there was this TV show, I'd only say watch the first season because it got worse after that, but there was a TV show called Heroes.
Wow, yeah. I remember when everyone watched Heroes. I didn't watch it because I didn't have Sky.
Oh, it was like, I watched it. It is good. The first season was amazing. I definitely would recommend. Afterwards, there was the writer's strike, and what they produced are like, from season 2 actually wasn't that bad, but then I think only had 4 seasons. Season 3 was awful. Season 4 was rubbish, and then the way it ended was like the worst thing ever.
Oh no!
But yeah, it was generally the worst. There was a lot of things that didn't make sense, and then they tried to bring it back, and it just didn't hit. But what I really liked was the main character in that, Peter Petrelli. He has that ability of like, he can copy people's superpowers of those around him. But what I liked from his character was, if he tries to copy too many people's powers, he then basically like supernovas and explodes. That's what I added to my character, in the sense of
you've got to have some kind of handicap. Yeah.
So I was just like, he can copy people maybe within like a 3-meter distance. He can copy their quirks for a bit. He can like stack quirks. So like if he was near, I don't know, like Bakugo and Shoto, he could like copy both of their quirks. But then if he then tries to like stack it like any more than, I said, like 3 is probably even pushing it. But like, if he could try to stack loads, he'd basically just like explode. Or like supernova, and like he would, like my character would get injured, but he could also use it as like a way to take out people. Yeah. But it was really interesting because I think with like AI stuff like that, it is nice to like write yourself into your like favorite stories. Because,
I love a fan fiction. We've definitely all done that.
So I've got to ask, I actually, like, before we go on to the next question, I never asked, what would your quirk be?
I don't know. You know what? Like the story of the magic paintbrush, wherever I draw comes to life. Kind of like Sai from Naruto as well.
But that would be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
And it will have a time limit of how long it can be alive. Just because I can't draw things and make it last forever. Yeah. But yeah, it makes me be more calculating about what I do. But yeah, probably that.
Okay. Yeah. I like it. That's a really cool quirk.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next question. Because I'm gonna even make it fair, because usually I don't always get people to ask me questions, but I've got the questions here, so I'm gonna ask you all of the quickfire questions, and then I'm gonna give it to you so you can ask me the same questions. Yes. But yes, I also know that we have to get through these like main questions as well. So I'm not trying to rush it, but I'm also just like very excited to be doing that. The next question is, your mission is to create art that highlights issues around mental health, encourages self-love, and embraces diversity. You kind of mentioned it already, but I'd like, I guess if there's anything else you wanted to add, how do you approach translating these themes into your artwork? And a sort of like add-on to that is, what message are you hoping to convey with some of these pieces? So whether it's to do with like self-love, whether it's to do with mental health, whether it's to do with diversity, how do you ensure that those messages, or what message are you trying to convey to your audience when you create those pieces?
Yeah, it's a good question. And as you read that, I was like, what, this is so, like, this has always been a goal of mine, but it's kind of not changed, but I think I have a more simpler goal in mind now. Okay. But yeah, I should enter my bio in ChatGPT and get it to like finesse what I need to say. But I'm a big advocate for mental health. We all have it. We know we've got, as much as our physical health is important, mental health is important too. And it's important to depict that in like it's nice to see that representation in your artwork, especially with people like, you know, I don't see people that look like me representing mental health. So that was over 10 years ago now. And I like to draw. I had a era where I call it the blue period. That was the name of my first exhibition, which was last year. Okay. Picasso had a blue period, but he used the color blue a lot. There also is an anime called the Blue Period, which is named after the Picasso period, not the other way around, which someone tried to tell me, which was ridiculous because Picasso was very old. It's a good anime if you're an artist. Definitely recommend it. It was really beautiful. So many lessons from my art teacher were in that story. It's so good. And then I say it's the blue period because other than like the color blue I love blue. It's my favorite color and a great color to use in my work. I was also quite blue. I think I just really felt I think maybe as an artist I just feel things very like a lot. Very a lot. Very sensitive. As in like I'm not quick to cry, but I just do feel things intensely sometimes. And that also is to do with love and like, you know, my friendships, the bonds I make with people, relationships. And yeah, like when you feel like a loss, it hurts. But only through feeling your pain and your hurt and processing that, it can get you out of it. So that's what I'm trying to highlight in my artwork. And even use my artwork as a reason to, you know, turn that negative into a positive. And that it's okay to be sad, you know. And it's actually really connected me with loads of amazing people. Like one of my good friends I met online, funnily enough, in 2020. Her name's Jada. She's a spoken word poet, but she has the same philosophy about sadness as I do. And she makes amazing poetry. And then I make amazing artwork. And it's just a lovely collaboration that we have now, even in our friendship. So it's like, not only does embracing your mental health and highlighting those things and even the diversity and representation I have in my work, like connect with people, it makes people feel seen. And in a way, it makes people feel happy. And they're like, I don't know why this makes me happy. It's quite sad or melancholy, but I feel like I'm seen and it makes me happy. And there are a few people who don't get it. They're like, oh, why don't you draw them smiling? Why don't you draw your characters happy? And I'm just like, it's kind of impossible to always be happy. It's a big expectation and pressure. And I don't expect to be sad all the time either, because that's the thing. Feelings are just, they're waves. They come and they go. You have to go with it. And that's what I use my artwork for. I would say I'm coming out of my blue period phase now. That doesn't mean sadness has stopped. I think it means I've learned to cope with it better. I'm going through like a little pink or maybe even red period now. I don't even like the colour red, but it's interesting what because colours like blue doesn't always represent sadness. It could always mean calm and royalty. And actually in some some African like ancient history as well, blue is the colour of royalty. And that's the thing. So it can mean so many things. It doesn't just mean it's sad. And the same with red. Red doesn't just mean anger. It can just mean passion, empowerment. It's a strong colour. So, and then pink is quite close to red, so it's cute as well.
Oh no, thank you. And I think that's really powerful, because I think a lot of like in any medium, like you said, like people just want to see themselves like represented, and I think especially more so with anime than like superhero and other stuff, or like I said, like cartoons, video games, and anime. But like you said, like one of the reasons I love it is because there are those characters that you can relate to. Now, it's not like tomorrow I'm gonna wake up. Like I told my brother, the amount of like animes where you go, like someone wakes up in like a computer game or in another world. I'm just like, you never know. There might be someone
out there. Wait
for the day. Just calm down. But yeah, I think I told my brother, like, what's really nice about it is that with all three of them, like you said, there's always that character that you can relate to and you can always feel seen. So whether it's, like you said, like whether it's an emotion, whether you've had like a difficult period, like I did a LinkedIn post. You see that professionalism coming out.
Okay.
I did To be honest, I did Instagram one of it too, of like why Spider-Man is my favorite character. And I said that Spider-Man, for me, like for 2 reasons, is my favorite character. One is the creation process behind it.
Yeah.
Of like, so Stanley, if you've never seen it, there's a talk Stanley did on like, if you type into Google, into YouTube or Google, like Stanley, like why Spider-Man like exists or like the issues of Spider-Man. So he spoke about when he came up with the idea, and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this superhero. He's a teenage boy. He's like a bit of a geek. He wears, like he gets bitten by a spider, gets powers of spiders. He sticks to walls and swings. They were just like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it sounds daft.
They was like, it's so stupid, because they were saying like, on the one hand, all the superheroes when Spider-Man was like being created, they were just like, oh yeah, you know, the main superhero is like an adult. They're never like a child. They're never like someone young. He was like, the second thing is they never wear like a full mask. They wear either like a half mask or they don't wear a mask at all. Yeah. And they were saying as well, like it's usually the teenager is a sidekick or like a one-off character. So they said, oh no, it wouldn't really work. And they said spiders, people hate spiders. It's just not going to work. But what he said was he really liked Spider-Man because he said when Spider-Man wears the mask, anyone, like regardless of which Spider-Man we're talking about here, because again, I like what Lucia spoke about across the Spider-Verse, there are a lot of spider people. He said anyone can just relate to Spider-Man. Like you see him in the mask, you don't know who he is, what he looks like, but you know that all day, because like I said, loads of spider people, but you can see yourself in them. Yeah. And I think that's what I really like. And I also like as well that like I told my brother, like it's funny because Marvel even acknowledged it in this like comic that Spider-Man's just like one of the superheroes that has like the worst luck. They're just like the amount of stuff he goes through, the amount of like stuff he deals with is very unfortunate. But one of the biggest things about Spider-Man is that he always like picks himself up and he's always just like, okay, you know, like even when it's tough, he's just like, I've got to keep going. And I feel like that's something, especially I feel like as a creative, everyone can relate to, of that sense of like, you know, like things aren't working out. Like I've told people like there are times where I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna quit. I'm done with the podcast. I don't want to do anything. Like I don't want to record. I'm just like, I'm just like throw away. But then you look like what Spider-Man does. You know, you look at like all the people that you've helped. You look at like what you do. You look at the impact that your craft has, and you're just like, yeah, I've got to keep going. I've got to keep going. If not for me, then for them. So yeah, I think that's really important, and it's great to see that with your work that comes out, and it's something that. Oh,
thank you.
No, you're very welcome.
So you're saying I'm Spider-Man?
You're basically Spider-Man. You're basically Spider-Man.
I'll take it.
You know, if we see like a spider person comes out, like with like the Spider-Verse is happening in real life, we'll know like who started it. We're gonna go on to our next question, which is, you know, to be honest, I think we may have answered this, but I'm still gonna ask it. So we spoke a lot about diversity. How do you ensure that diversity is always represented in your artwork, and why is it so important for you to convey diversity through your art?
Yeah, so I've illustrated children's books. This is when I was starting out freelancing over 10 years ago. Wow, like it must be longer than that now, actually. But yeah, it was over 10 years ago. I was illustrating children's books, and I knew straight away I'm going to make all these characters. All these kids are going to be different ethnicities, straight up. Like we're going to have a brown kid, a black kid. I'm going to have the whitest of white kids. Like she's going to be blonde with blue eyes, or like boy with freckles who's kind of chubby. You know, all kinds of characters that you don't normally see. And then like I even did like little scenes where they're in school in the lunch line and stuff. So yeah, it started off with children's book illustration, and I'm really glad I done it. It's a tiring process. Oh, yeah. When I say tiring, it's quite demanding to do a lot of drawings, like 50 drawings, and then be working a full-time job as well. So I needed to like choose one or the other, but that wasn't making me a lot of money. So at the time, and you need to be with an agency to be able to get the big bucks. But it's really annoying because what happens is like with the publishing industry, shout out to Elizabeth, she knows about this as well. The publishing industry love to publish books that promote diversity, but their cohort does not reflect that. So that's the thing. It's a problem in many industries. But yeah, like I'm a big believer in like I don't even like to use the word diversity anymore. There's another word for it. I can't remember what the word is. But it's just about being able to connect with what you actually see and feel represented and seen. And I like to, like, as much as I like to draw different people from different ethnicities, I draw myself a lot of the time because that's how I show myself love. But also I never saw myself represented in most books, or even like if it was not picture books, just reading books or animations and stuff. It's still annoying. Like only now anime has started to make more people of color characters, but they always got white hair. Like, what's that about? I don't have white hair.
Honestly.
There probably was a tribe in Africa where they did have like white hair or something, or like, you know, albinos and stuff. But yeah, back to the point of my drawings. Yeah, I just draw upon literally what I know, which is me. And Frida Kahlo even said, like, I draw myself the most because I know myself the best. And that's why I draw myself. Because it feels nice, feels good as well. But then it's, at the same time, like, helping people connect and, like, you know, feel represented. So, yeah, I'm trying to draw different characters and I always try to draw more boys. I don't really draw a lot of guys. So drawing anime characters that I love and connect with, like even drawing Miles because he's just a special boy. And it was just really lovely to be able to draw different kinds of ethnicities.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Yeah, we've come to the last question before we do the quick fire questions. You know, before we ask this, actually, I need to ask it. So, Kingdom Hearts, is it your favourite video game of all time? Is
yes.
your favourite? That's
undisputed.
Yes. Because I was just like, you know, you're very passionate about it. I was just like, it might be something else. But, you know, it's been clarified.
No, they're Kingdom Hearts, then Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, both brilliant games, hands down. Played it many times. Yeah.
Because I never played... So, Kingdom Hearts, funnily enough, me and my brother have Kingdom Hearts 3. We both are yet to play it. I apologise, people. But you know,
right, yeah.
I've also got I got a Switch last Christmas.
Oh, just gone?
No, sorry, the Christmas before that. So 2023.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I got, literally, because me and my brother were thinking, we're big Pokemon fans, so we were just like, we miss playing, like we still got our Game Boy Advance, but we miss playing Pokemon. So we were just like, should we get a Switch? Because obviously there's like, we can probably discuss it on the gaming one, but there's rumors of like a new Switch coming out, and we were just like, oh, well, should we wait? And I was just like, look, I'm really tired, like, I just want, like, there's so many cool games. So I've got Breath of the Wild on it, and I'm still yet to play it. But I've what I've seen so far, I've liked. And I'm very excited to get into that.
Have you played a Zelda game before?
I've never played a Zelda game before. So this is my, like, first one in...
I love Zelda. That's my third favourite game ever. Specifically Wind Waker.
Okay.
But yeah, I love Zelda games. They're beautiful. But this Breath of the Wild is the first open world Zelda game. So it kind of changes like the when I say hierarchy, it's just the way the game goes. You enter a dungeon, you get a key, you get to the big boss, and you fight the boss. And then you get to the castle, you rescue the princess, where everyone's... But like, this is like open world. You still got to save the princess and the castle, but it's not that linear. Like, you could go anywhere, anytime, and there's no leveling up in Zelda games either. Yeah, it's challenging, it's a good game, but it's so beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah, because I've been, like, as soon as I got the Switch, I played, I'm going to get the name wrong, but Pokemon...
Scarlet and Violet?
No, the Arceus, Arceus?
Arceus, oh, that's,
the open world one that they did. And to be honest, like I told my brother, like, it is, like, I like it because it is, like you said, that level of immersion of, like, you feel like you're actually in the Pokemon world. Like, you're going around, like, literally, I told my brother,
that's what you wanted as a Pokemon trainer playing the game. Like, you want to be able to walk around and just actually see them in wild grass. And like I told my brother, like, I like that there's that realism of, like, even the people tell you, like, yeah, you can't, like, just, like, once they tell you can, like, explore, it's like, yeah, you can't just walk up to a Pokemon, and if you don't have a Pokemon to fight, you can't just, like, fight it with your bare fist. You have to run. Because I was just like, my brother was just like, oh, you know, if Pokemon existed in real life, he was like, chances are someone probably would want to fight a Pokemon and see, like, bare hands, be like, can I beat a Pokemon? And I was just like, no, I like that the game's just like, no, like, they're clearly too powerful for us. Like, just because they're level 1 doesn't mean that you can handle that type. You're not the level 1 that you're like. Exactly. Like, no. So I find it, so I like that, like you said, that level of immersion. Even, like I told my brother, there are times when I'm literally just like, okay, I've got to be careful because, you know, I don't want to get into a fight with a random Pokemon. Yeah. And you're just like, you know, have you got enough heals? And I like that it's like, it's not set in like, it's not a modern setting. So there isn't like that, oh, like I'm going to just like get on my bike or I'm going to just like
do it like this. It's like, no, like we're gonna get you to really like explore, really take it easy, to walk around. And yeah, I've enjoyed like that game I played. I've really enjoyed it. It's been really fun. But yeah, I need to go back to the Switch, but there's too many games.
There's so many games. Yeah.